welcome to the show with your veterans, with Matt Rodin and Zachary Piser. How are you guys?
Well, honestly, I'm a little tired.
Yeah, tired.
Because
tired.
this show, as you just sat through, is she's a long one, and she's also very emotional, but otherwise really good.
Yeah, we're having fun. But yeah, it's been a lot of really hard but really wonderful work. So happy to have people coming and seeing it now and sharing it with people for sure.
Yeah. Now who came up with the new reimagining of Rent?
So, our fearless director, Zai, when he pitched the show to Paper Mill Playhouse, he said, I want to do this show, Rent. You might be familiar with it, but I want to do a take on it, and essentially put my kind of spin on it. And we all the actors entered the room knowing that it was not going to be your run-of-the-mill Rent, but the most beautiful thing of this process is that we all got to really collaborate with each other and kind of make this new living, breathing version of the show in the room. So it was obviously all came from Zion, his brain, but he would ask all of us questions about like our characters and our relationships and how it should look and how it should feel. Yeah. And so we all it was a very democratic, very cool process, which is not normal at all.
From the beginning, it was like, I think from the audition, I knew that it wasn't going to be traditional Rent because I don't think I fit in the typical sort of Roger bubble.
No.
And so the fact that he was willing to like take a chance on me and wanted to bring me into the room gave me the indication that this was going to be something different. And then when we finally got to see like the set design and hear about the projections and sort of his concept for the play, it was exciting because I'm a huge Rent fan. Like I love Rent; it's like my favorite show, and I've seen it so many times. But to get to do it in a way that I've never seen done before was so exciting.
Now, how do you differ from like Adam Askwell?
Yeah.
Or Jordan
Fisher, or no, who did it on the Rent Live? No,
Jordan.
no, he was Mark. Yeah, he was Mark.
Yeah.
I think the way I sort of always understood Roger was that he was very hard and very like straight edges and a lot of anger, and I think a lot of the sort of like rock and rollness came from the fact that they found Adam and they brought him into the show originally. Yeah. And I was really grateful that Zai was willing to sort of do the same thing with me. He brought me into the show, and we got to like find my Roger together, which I think, at least from my perspective, is a lot softer. There's a lot more grief and sadness, and he's sick. That's the other piece too that I had never really felt before in productions. That Roger, he says like I should have died 3 years ago. His girlfriend like says that we have AIDS, so he's a sick person. Which means at 3 years later, he's probably not holding up great, which gave me something to like play on, at least when we started things out.
And it was the opposite for me. I do not know this show at all. Nothing whatsoever. I saw one production of it in college, but I'd never seen it live. Or never seen Rent live. I'd never seen like a professional production before. I never really listened to the soundtrack. I knew like your basic songs, like Seasons of Love. Who doesn't know that song?
Take Me or Leave Me.
Take Me or Leave Me. I knew that one. Yeah, but
What You Want.
Yeah, What You Own, of course.
A little though. Like,
oh my God.
Like honestly, most of Mark's stuff I had no idea. But what we found in the room is that it lent itself really well to kind of this like creating this new version because I have nothing to base it off of. I'm kind of just like going with my instinct and being like, well, in every character that I do, I always bring some part of myself, and I think this is a lot of just kind of Zach Piser in this show, which I think works. But very different like backgrounds into the show.
Yeah.
Now, what is your favorite part that you're not in?
That I'm not in the show?
Yeah.
My favorite part that I'm not in the show, I have to be honest, like, all I want to do is Over the Moon. Like, that is my MO, is like being ridiculous, talking directly to an audience. Like, the thing that I don't get to do in this show, which I love doing more than literally anything, is like messing with the audience. And I don't look at the audience once during the show. You get that, and Maureen gets that, and I never have an opportunity. So I think Over the Moon because like that's like I would really be messing with the audience. Like it would be unhinged. It could be like 25 minutes long, depending on what day it was.
See, that's my worst.
That's your worst nightmare, right?
Like that. Well, I guess that hate's a strong word because I've done immersive stuff before. But
What would yours be?
What I would want to do?
Yeah, that you're not in.
Take Me With Me.
Yeah.
For sure, it's iconic.
Yeah, that
I
number.
know that.
I know.
And the only
it's so
song I
good.
know.
And they sound so good too.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
Now, there is a play with very heavy subject. How do you wash it off at the end of the day?
That's a great.
Well, you're used to it because you played ever. But
That's right.
maybe
But me, yeah, it's a little different. I know when we started this process, and like there were those days where we started like getting into those fight scenes, and we get emotional. I would make fun of Zach. 'Cause I was like, "You can do this easy. Like you've done this a million times. You know how to drop in there." No, and I've had an opportunity to do stuff sort of like this. Like I did this musical Bo that we turned into a movie that's super emotional. Hedwig is super emotional too. But I don't know. I think it's a big part of it is the company. Is that like I love being on stage with these people, and we are having, at least for me, I'm having so much fun. So even though like I'm really in it, I actually am having fun, like being really deeply connected to the piece, and to the emotion of the piece. And so that way, like when we get off stage, when we come out for bows, I'm able to kind of just like be present with the people and be back in the joyfulness of it, you know?
Yeah. Where do you think the new version is going?
This version? I mean, there's no limits for me. I would love to see it everywhere and anywhere. Listen, I think it's been, 2012 was when they did the off-Broadway revival at New World Stage. I think it was like 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
So it's been almost 10 years, maybe more, since New York has seen a production of Rent. So I do think that it's time for a new, and I do think this production in particular, again, like having a new take on the show, I think would be really cool and powerful. So I'd love to do it in New York. A little bit closer to home too. That would be very nice. Yes.
Yeah. And where do you think it will go?
You know, I have the same hopes. I mean, I think that it's such a special show, and I think it's such a special group of people doing this show. And I hope that it has a life afterwards. I mean, I could see it doing anything from, a Broadway run, off-Broadway run, like another out of town before coming in, whatever it is. I hope that there's more to it.
Because this team is like this group of people has just been like so amazing, and we were talking about this earlier today that like the process of doing the show has really has been like the most rewarding, exciting part of the whole thing.
Truest sense of like play.
Yeah.
The truest sense of play, and every meaning of that word in the room really was there, which is so abnormal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have any other people gave you advice
about this?
Yeah.
Well, I did get a video message from Adam Pascal, because a friend of mine is childhood friends with him, so I got a video message from him that I can show you. But he didn't give me any advice. But I have a lot of friends that have worked here at Paper Mill and have had only wonderful things to say. And Zach and Zai were friends before this production started. So Zach and I have been friends. So when Zach recommended like Zai, and he was like, "No, he's a good one," I knew that we were going to be in good hands. But I did the piece when I was in high school too. I was Collins when I was in my senior year of high school. So I know the show so well, and I love the show, and it's been like so nice to get to like look at it in a new way, and have to like leave behind all my sort of preconceived notions.
And you?
Any advice that I was given?
Yeah, like
well, I was able to go do Anthony Rapp, who was the original Mark. He's doing, or actually I just closed, but he did this show called Without You at New World Stages, and I was able to go perform with him. We got to talk with him, and so we just kind of chatted about the piece in general. But I don't think he had much advice. I think he sent me a note that was really kind of just like, I hope that this is a really filling experience for you, as it was for him. And I think so far, I mean, we couldn't be more tired.
That's true.
But both things can be true.
That's right.
Very tired and also very fulfilling. And I think like today there was a moment in the play where I was like, wow, I'm so hungry and I'm so tired. But then I was looking at everyone on stage and I was like, this story is it's so potent even today, and it's so important, like the work and the way that it was so revolutionary in its time when it first came out in the early 90s. Like it's really, to be doing it, it's really special.
Yeah, now, what next for you?
Oh, it's a great
What
question.
next? Oh my God! If you know, will you let me know? If you find out, let me know. No, I'm getting married. So we close on. I was supposed to get married. This is a fun fact. I was supposed to get married on Saturday, July 1st, but we have 2 shows that day. So I'm now getting married on Monday, July 3rd, the day after we close. So that to me is like the only thing I can think about is that like we're doing the show, and then the day after we close, I'm gonna get married, and then I'll go on a honeymoon, and then after that I could not tell you. I do not know. But hopefully more of this. Hopefully more of this at some point.
People don't know that you do this.
Mm-hmm.
People know you from Broadway.
I guess so. For Broadway.com, I guess so.
He's famous.
Oh.
And you probably interviewed Zach a couple times.
I have. We did. Well, he
we
was
did a
on my
podcast.
podcast earlier this year when Zach was in K-pop.
I would have loved to have to be interviewed by you.
Yeah,
Anyone
I don't
else-
think we were ever on the red
anyone else
carpet together, but
but just you.
but yeah, now because Broadway.com has shifted their sort of like their landscape and what they're doing. They have a TV show now. I now have a podcast, so that's what I've been doing all season. And Zach was on it, Bonnie Milligan was on it, Jay Harrison G was on it, Michaela
Matt's
Diamond was
got
on it.
everyone.
So that honestly, that's what's next is like another season of the podcast,
Eh,
which I'm so excited
do
about.
you do it from home?
Yeah, do it from home. Keep it simple. We did it remotely. Zach was in his dressing room at K-pop.
What next for you, Zach?
I'm going to say the exact same thing. I don't have anything right
You're
now.
not getting married.
I'm not getting married today. Sorry. But I'm looking forward to, I don't know, keeping my schedule open and seeing what kind of comes.
Now, let's say they ask you back to do Evan.
Oh gosh, Evan, it's closed though. Where
Yeah,
would
that's
I
right.
do it?
But if there was a production, would you jump at?
That's a great question. I think I'm gonna be very PC about that. No. What I'll tell you is that I think I was a part of that family for so long, and I'm so grateful for it. But I think the polo days are happily behind me.
You're older now.
I'm too old.
Yeah, you're too old. He's
I'm really
too
not.
old to play
I
Evan.
look very young because I'm so short on stage. But it's more just like, I've learned so many great lessons from that show, so many things about myself as a performer, and I'm very interested in kind of like new experiences.
Yeah. What role would you like?
Oh my
to
gosh,
play?
there's a lot. There's a
Where's
lot
the
that I want
Rolodex?
to do.
Let's go.
I want to play the MC in Cabaret really
I
bad.
do too.
Yeah. See, so we're on the same page.
Oh,
You can have it. I'll just be what's the other guy?
It can be. What's the word I'm looking for? Split cast.
Split cast.
Sure.
Love
Yeah.
it. Soul.
Yeah.
I want to do Hedwig again. Hedwig was the most.
I love it.
Oh my God, so
I
rewarding.
saw that 2 times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
one
gosh.
with Neil.
Yeah, of course.
And one with Darren because Rebecca
Yeah.
is a good friend of mine.
I love Rebecca so much.
Yeah.
I know they were amazing. So I love that show.
Naomi
Yeah,
Jones.
Rebecca Naomi Jones. I think other than that, yeah, I always wanted to play Roger and Rent, so I got to
doing
check
it.
that check that box.
Yeah. Come see Rent at the Paper Mill through July 2nd.
Yep.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.